Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today for one of our informational webinars. I'm happy to introduce to you the University of New South Wales Business School, and today we have three presenters from UNSW. First we have Julie O'Brien, Kanami Torii, and then Ashley Waggener. So Kanami and Julie all work at the business school, and Ashley is here with us, and they'll introduce themselves a little in more detail a little later. So thank you all for attending, and we are going to talk about the UNSW Business School and everything that they have to offer today. But before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about GlobaLinks and kind of who we are and what we do and how we're here to assist you. So GlobaLinks Learning Abroad, we've been around for almost 25 years, so we have a pretty long track record of sending students abroad. We do offer full degree programs in Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, and we have been appointed by top-ranked universities like the University of New South Wales as your application center in North America. So the great thing is we have an office both in Toronto, Canada, as well as the United States in Denver, Colorado. So we're able to meet with students, be in your same time zone, talk with you on the phone, chat with you over email, and really get this potential process started for you. We do provide free service to students, so we are helped by the universities to provide this enrollment assistance, this resource assistance to you throughout the entire duration of this process, pretty much until you get to your new university. We are advising students on applying to full degree programs at our partner universities. So we'll start with the application process. Make sure that your application is complete and submit it to the university's admissions office. Like I said, we do work with 25 different universities, so you're going to have a lot of options to choose from when looking for that perfect degree program. And that's one of the reasons why we do provide these informational webinars, so you can learn a little bit more about all of our partners. We are here to answer your questions, connect you with students and other resources. We do have certification capabilities, and then we are able to obtain application fee waivers for all of our students. So the University of New South Wales does waive their application fee for all GlobaLinks students applying through GlobaLinks. And then we do provide an in-country orientation, which is called our Bridging Cultures Orientation Program. So this is a really great opportunity to really come full circle with this process. It's typically 4 to 6 days in length. It's going to take place prior to you starting at your university in your host country. We include exciting excursions, activities, and we make sure that it's in a really fun location as well. Provide students the opportunity to meet other students that are also attending the same university. And the orientation sessions really help you get to know your new country, your new university, the new academic system, and really help you make that transition into your new student life. And the nice thing is that it's an $800 value that we provide to you for free. So GlobaLinks is here to assist you. After the webinar, we will be sending you a follow-up email and attaching the UNSW applications and also just providing you more information on the process. We're here to advise you on the best program for you, so don't hesitate contacting us. All of our contact details are listed here. We have a toll-free number that's available for Canada and the U.S., and then we also have our email address as well, degrees@globalinksabroad.org. So we're looking forward to working with you. We thank you for attending, and I'm happy to hand this over to Ashley. We will be doing a question and answer session at the very end of the presentation, so make sure to write in your questions into that question box through your GoToWebinar. So Ashley, on to you.
Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. I am Ashley Waggener. I'm based here in the United States as the International Manager in North America for UNSW. So my job is to help you understand our programs and the student experience and what it's like to go to UNSW. I personally studied abroad and did my master's in Australia, so I know what it's like to be an international student. So happy to answer any of the questions about the student experience or application and how it's different from North America and anything along those lines as well at the end of the webinar. But right now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the University of New South Wales. We are located in beautiful Sydney, Australia. It's a dynamic, and we love to say, safe city of 5 million people. It's voted one of the best international cities for students this year, and it's one of the biggest cities in Australia as well as being the financial capital. 1 in 2 Sydney-siders have a parent born overseas, which makes it a very global and multicultural city. And as a result, it also makes it a very tolerant city. Sydney opens its arms to people of all different races, genders, religions, so it's open to everybody. Go ahead, Kim. So to give you an idea of our location, and Kim, if you'll click to their 4 arrows and all on there, you would be studying at the UNSW main campus. On the bottom right of your screen is Kensington. We're in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. As you can see, that's just a short bus ride into the city center, and it's about a 15-minute bus ride to Sydney International Airport, so it's a great location. As you can see from the next slide, we are located about 5 minutes from beautiful Coogee Beach by bus, or you can walk from campus down there. So many of our postgraduate students decide to live in that area and spend their afternoons and evenings on the beach. We're only about 20 minutes to the Sydney Opera House in the harbor, and about 20 minutes to iconic Bondi Beach, which you've probably seen any time you see a celebrity sighting in the U.S. on a beach in Australia. It's probably on Bondi Beach on that next slide, Kim. There it is. You can also walk from Coogee to Bondi Beach on a beautiful cliff walk. Go on, and we'll tell you a little bit actually about the university now that you know where we are. UNSW was in 1949, but its roots go back to the 1840s as the Sydney Mechanical Institute, and we like to say that for such a young university, we've grown to be one of the most prestigious in the world, as you'll see in our rankings that I'll go into in a minute. We have about 55,000 students. Oh, not quite yet. And about a quarter of those are international. So we have students from about 120 countries, which makes for a very diverse student body, and it also makes for a very interesting classroom environment, as you'll be having discussions with people that come from all over the world. So you'll be able to hear about business in their countries and what it's like from a European experience, not just the Australian viewpoint on these topics. And that also leads us to our big alumni network all over the world. Many people stay in Australia, but many others return back to their homes. We've got about 275,000 alumni throughout the world. So you can go ahead now, Kim. UNSW was a founding member of the Group of 8, which are the top 8 research-intensive universities in Australia. To put that a little bit in perspective for North America, that's pretty much what we like to say the equivalent to the Ivy Leagues. These are the top universities. This will show you this map a little bit of where they all are. And the next graph just to explain how they're different from the other universities in Australia. You can see consistently over the last 10 years, the Group of 8 are all up at the top, staying at the top of the world rankings in comparison to the other universities, nice and steady and consistent and significantly higher performing than the other universities. One ranking that I think we're particularly proud of this year is the Hobson's Good Universities Guide. As you can see, UNSW has more 5-star than any other Australian university, and in fact on this our lowest ranking is a 4 in comparison to some of our colleagues, and these are all things that you're going to be looking at as a postgrad student. Getting a full-time job, positive outcomes, starting salary, these are all things that you should be considering when you're thinking about where you want to study and get your degree. These aren't just about the overall world rankings. These are really the skills that you're going to come out of and the type of environment you'll be learning in. Go ahead, Kim. So just to finish up with a couple more of our overall rankings, we are ranked 52nd in the world according to the QS university rankings in 2013. We were the first university in the world to get the prestigious 5-star plus rating for excellence. If you want to know a little more that goes into that, you can visit the QS website. But that range is a whole different area of things such as teaching and learning, student ratio, and student experience. Have a look at that. Top 50 MBA 7 years in a row, the Financial Times. And a really important one, again, as I mentioned with Hobson's, is we're 32nd in the world for employer reputation, and these are the kinds of things that are important as a postgrad student for you to look at. And we also have the highest median starting salaries of any university in Australia. And the top one usually catches people's attention. First in Australia for producing millionaires, and as business students you can appreciate the value in that one for sure. And then that bottom right is those Hobson's ratings that I've already gone into a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to my colleagues because I know you're here to hear about their business programs. And then I'll be around at the end to help answer any questions you might have about being a North American student in Australia or the student experience. So Julie and Kanami, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie O'Brien from the Business School here at UNSW. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you today. And just to lead on from Ashley's comments, we are one of Australia's leading business schools and supported by the rankings that I'll show you shortly. But in looking at that overall, as we are differentiated by some of our other competitor universities here in Sydney, is that we consider ourselves a very progressive modern university with an outstanding campus with lots of facilities. And obviously when you're looking at studying postgrad, you are looking at the teaching and the research that comes out of the business school. And obviously our academics are in the forefront of their research, which obviously transitions into the classroom. We've got state-of-the-art facilities here at the business school, and at the moment we are just creating a series of what we call flipped classroom environments where obviously the interaction within that classroom is where everyone is heading, and they are fantastic classrooms and an opportunity to learn in that environment. The student experience here is an excellent one, and I'll go into that shortly as to why. Industry links is probably one of the main key points when people ask us why come to UNSW Business School. Our industry links are extremely strong, and obviously that connects with the classroom as well in the research that we do for industry, and then how we distribute that research in the classroom. We were located in Sydney, which is the financial capital gateway to Asia, and as Ashley mentioned as well, we have a strong alumni network on our own as a business school, and our graduates have done extremely well. Thanks, Kim. The next slide. Just to give you a bit of a sense, Ash showed you the rankings for the university. Just what you can see on your screen is some further rankings for you to have a look at. And obviously the MBA is one of our flagship programs that's recognised around the world and is ranked accordingly. We also did very well as a business school in the 2014 Good Universities Guide. And obviously when you are looking for a business school, accreditation plays a big part in the decision making that you undertake. And we have obviously accreditation with AACSB, which is the American, the European qualification in EQUIS. Obviously we're a group of 8 and we're part of Universitas 21, which is a global network of universities that we leverage off a lot as well. Thanks, Kim. Just to give you a sense at a glance, we are big, and that's what probably differentiates us an awful lot too from a business school sense and our competitors around the world, in that we are a big business school with now close to 13,000 students as we move into the middle of 2014. Of those students, they are a breakdown of nearly 50-50 postgrad and undergrad. Obviously research, we have an executive education arm, and that makes up and PhD obviously, and Doctor of Philosophy. So it does make up a very strong and a very large business school, and to support that we've got obviously strong academics, 357 currently, and they are a diverse lot as well. We bring in academics from all around the world. Ashley mentioned that we have a very diverse student body. We also have a very diverse academic cohort as well to teach our students here at the business school. Thanks, Kim. Okay, when I said that we're well connected, you know, our alumni networks from those 70,000 alumni, a lot of them do stay here, obviously, but we have got alumni scattered around the world. And if you can see in the bottom left-hand side, our US number's quite small, so that's why we're talking to you today, because we would love to have, obviously, our student body growth in the American and the Canadian side. So as I said, we're very delighted to be speaking to you today to encourage you to look at the opportunity to come and study in Sydney and at the University of New South Wales. Thanks, Kim. Obviously, when you're looking for programs at postgraduate level, it is all about looking for the accreditation of those professional bodies that may help you with your career. opportunity. So in all of our degrees, which I'll just go over shortly, our suite of programs in the next couple of slides, just to give you a sense that in all of our programs we have that institutional accreditation if you are seeking to form a professional career pathway, whether it be in accounting, actuarial studies, computer science, or in the financial industry. So our partnerships are very strong in that area as well. Thanks, Kim. The industry connections, I mentioned that our reputation, certainly amongst our domestic students and internationally, especially in the Asian Pacific, is the industry connections that we have. And as a business school, we have an extremely strong advisory council of which we tap into on a regular basis to make sure that the rigour of our programs are making our students ready for the industry. That advisory board is made up of 51 members of leading companies and global companies here in Australia and around the world. So there's a few logos there to give you an indication as to some of those industries that are, or companies that are sitting on our advisory council as well. Thanks, Kim. Okay, just to give you a bit of a sense now of what we have to offer in our postgraduate coursework program suite, is that we tend to break them up into 3 different categories. And they are, the first lot is what we call Business Foundation Masters. So they are masters where they are predominantly a platform for graduates who are looking for a career change or a career transition. So we have an awful lot of students that will come and do a Master of Commerce, which I'll give you some more information about shortly, because they are maybe come from an arts background or a science background or an engineering background, and they are looking to gain that business knowledge to either leverage off their undergraduate studies or to completely have a career change. The Master of International Business is a new program for us this year. It's very much the flavour in Australia, the focus on international business, both at undergrad and postgraduate level. So we have introduced a new program to give our prospective students the opportunity to look at developing the study program that they want that may give them an opportunity to work in that particular space. And we have the Master of Professional Accounting. Again, it's an accredited program that will enable you to either become a CA or a CPA. And the Master of Technology and Innovation Management is a degree that's designed for science or engineering grads who would like to probably continue to do a little bit more study in their own field, but also to pick up some business knowledge, maybe because they want some, from a strategy point of view, an entrepreneurship point of view, or to continue on with the R&D, but to have that strong innovation and business knowledge behind them. Thanks, Kim. The second category that we have is the Specialist Master's degree, and they are programs designed for graduates who have studied in their undergraduate degree a particular discipline and would like to come back and build upon that knowledge for their career prospects or their career aspirations. So we have an accounting and a business information technology program, which you need to have an accounting or an IS/IT background to come into that program. So all of these are, you need to have an undergrad grounding, and they range from 1 to 1.5 years in those particular programs as well. So worth looking at if you have that and you are looking to increase your knowledge to help with your career. Thanks, Kim. And the third category is obviously our flagship MBA, which is our General Management and Leadership program. And as we mentioned earlier, it has a worldwide ranking and a very strong reputation. It's a very rigorous program, and it's 16 months full time, and we don't give you much time off in that 16 months. But the opportunity also on exchange to one of institutions around the world, and we play in the space of the Whartons and the London Business School, where you have the opportunity to go on exchange for one of your terms while you're studying the MBA. So a very global MBA. Not many students in it. It's very diverse. And I think currently there are 75 students in the program, but of those 75, there are 28 different nationalities.
And it is a very small cohort, which means that you get to know your cohort and you work alongside your colleagues for the whole 16 months. So I think a lot of MBAs tend to be big groups, but with our AGSN MBA, you really do get the attention from the academics, and you also get to know your fellow students over the 16 months. So I think a lot of students find that either those friendships are for life, and a lot of business opportunities might come along with those relationships as well.
Absolutely. I guess that's always the key element of when you study, especially overseas, is that the opportunity to have those lifelong friends and to build those networks is very important for you in the business world today and personally as well. Thank you, Kim. So today, just because obviously we can't focus on all of them, we don't have enough time, but maybe just give you a little bit of a flavour as to what two of our Business Foundation programs are all about. And as I mentioned to you, the Master of International Business is a new program introduced into our suite of programs this year. And it's a program that has an interest, and you can come from any background. And obviously playing in the international from a supply chain, from an import-export perspective. If you don't come from a business background, the ability to pick up some key business knowledge along the way as well to supplement the learning that you undertake in the IB side of things is very, very important. So it's a degree today, no matter where you look at studying an IB degree, it has immense opportunity for anyone, because in most cases the elective options are up to you, so you can design the degree to gain the knowledge to let it take you where you want to go. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so it is a 16-course program to be studied over 2 years full-time for an international student, and there are 8 compulsory courses in that with a capstone included, and 8 elective courses for you to undertake, as I said, to build that knowledge based on where you want to go with your degree. We do understand, though, if someone does want to come into the degree who has a business bachelor degree, that we would look at offering 4 courses as credits to reduce the program down to 12. And I'll show you in the next slide just quickly what the course offerings are. But if you come into the degree, obviously, here we go, without an undergrad degree in business, then we would recommend that as those electives you choose to get that foundation. So as you can see here, there are compulsory core courses that everyone needs to undertake in the degree, the business foundation electives that you may get credit for if you have a business undergrad, and then the opportunity to choose the electives that you want to undertake, and then a capstone, which is an interactive case that you would consolidate all of your learning in the degree, which you would take in the final semester. You also have the opportunity, obviously in an international business, it's about international opportunity. So coming into Australia is the first international opportunity. Obviously having another shot at doing an exchange semester at one of our many partners that we have around the world is an opportunity for you to look at as well. Thanks, Kim. The Master of Commerce. Master of Commerce is the business school's flagship program. It was the first master's program introduced at the University of New South Wales under the business school umbrella, and way back then we were the Faculty of Commerce and Economics. We're now the business school. It is has a long distinguished history, and we've built on it and worked with that advisory council over the years to hone it and change it as required to meet the marketplace demands, to make sure that our graduates are certainly in a position to be recruited at the end of the day, whether an undergrad from a non-business background is looking to career transition, or as I'm going to show, as you see here, very popular for a non-business undergrad to come in and do this particular degree. An engineer, and so to give you some examples of the students that we have is...
Yeah, so we have a lot of people from different backgrounds. So we might have an engineer student who's decided that they want the business acumen to complement the engineering degree, or we might have an art student or a music student or a fine arts student who's now decided that they actually would like to top up their knowledge and gain some business skills. So this is why this program is great, because it is an option for people with no business background whatsoever from the undergrad to come in and do a postgrad and pick up the business knowledge in a year and a half. But as Julie was saying before, we still do get business students, but usually those students have a very different discipline. So you might have a business student who's done a marketing major in the undergrad, who's now decided actually they'd like to focus on finance or international business or human resource management. So that's probably the two groups of students we get in this program.
The MCOM is a specialist degree. It's not a generalist business degree. It's a degree that enables you to come in, if you don't have the business background, pick up some core business knowledge, and then the next slide, Kim, if you wouldn't mind, will show you the disciplinary areas of which you can then specialise in. Okay, so maybe just go to the next slide for me, Kim, quickly, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so this will give you an understanding then of what it is that you may like to specialise in to help with your career or to supplement your undergrad knowledge that you already have. So, you know, whether you wanted to look at the finance industry, information systems, accounting management is not necessarily enough for accreditation from a professional body, but it certainly is the pathway to a CIMA qualification, which is also if you're looking to be a CFO in the future, accounting management is also very strong, and obviously management, marketing and risk are also very strong specialisations. So if you just go back a slide for me, Kim, I'll just outline quickly how the degree actually works. So it is a 12-course program studied full-time over 1.5 years for an international student. The core course is mandatory. Everybody, no matter what background they come into the program from, needs to do a core course which is called Team Ethics and Competitive Advantage, and it brings the class together. It is, as I mentioned before, it's a flagship program for us, so we do take a lot of students both in semester 1 here and semester 2 into the program. So we have a whole range of course offerings for you to choose in your timetable. So the core mandatory course is offered and everyone has to take that course. Then depending on your background, if you don't have any analysis background, we would ask you to do a data analysis course. And then if you again don't have a business background, we would get you to do 3 gateway core courses relevant to the specialisation that you're going to choose, and they will give you the depth and breadth of the learning to continue with that specialisation. You do the 6 specialisation courses, and you complete the degree with a capstone course in your final semester, which again would be a project with industry which will consolidate your learning from the program. Thanks, Kim. We might skip forward 2 slides, the next one as well. Look, I've just thrown a testimonial from one of our students. Just go back a slide, Kim. Thanks. Look, it's there. It will be on the web anyway for anyone to read. But obviously we have lots of students that come from various backgrounds. And Shanil was just one of our Sri Lankan students who is now very much still in Australia and working here and doing extremely well. So an opportunity when the webinar goes up on the web to have a read. Thanks, Kim.
So we hope you'll be the next person in the testimonial once.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why choose us? I suppose it is all about the opportunities that you have as a postgraduate student, and the postgraduate degrees can be 1 year, 1.5 years, not a lot of time really. So it is all about maximising the time that you're with us in not only achieving the learning outcomes that you want, but to get involved. And I suppose we encourage very much our undergrad students here and our postgrad is that, you know, it's not all about just coming and doing the learning academically. It's about taking the opportunities that are presented to you, and universities around the world are all offering many, many opportunities to network, to get involved, to increase your personal as well as your academic learning in lots of ways. So here at the Australian School of Business, the Business School at UNSW, we offer those opportunities. So there's a career mentoring opportunity for our postgrad students. We have a great leadership development program where we match our MCOM students and our MIB students with our MBA students, and it's over a period of time. They go to a series of camps, workshops where we bring in our alumni, and it's a great way to develop the leadership skills and the competencies that obviously is required by business today. We have other programs along the way. As I said, we have an ACE program, which is all about leadership and strategic thinking. I meet the executives, so once every 2 months, we have an opportunity for you to go and have dinner at the Hilton Hotel, one of our major hotels here, and we bring in our alumni and our industry connections for you to network, and obviously the MBA students and the MBA part-time students come along to that particular networking session as well. And we have a wonderful careers and employment department here at the university, and it's their aim to give you the tools to be able to succeed in the workforce at the end of your degree. Thanks, Kim. One of those programs that is very, very attractive is called the LEAD program, and as I mentioned to you, it is the leadership program where we bring together a lot of our postgrad students from all of our programs, our MBA students, our alumni for that duration. And what we're very proud of this year, and you can go to the website and have a look at our weekly newsletter called Pulse, which is on our YouTube channel, and have a look at. This year we actually introduced the first iLead program in conjunction with some of our leading business schools around the world. It was Wharton, INSEAD, Asade, they all sent students to us in the beginning of the year, and it was a program that was designed around building the networks from the business schools around the world. So a very successful program. There is information on our website if you'd like to go and have a look at that. Thanks, Kim. That's the end for us. We hope that maybe you may have a couple of questions, and we're here to answer those questions. But I guess it's all about today. The information is all there for you. Stay connected with us. We are on all of the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter. We have a great YouTube channel that you can go in, obviously, and find out what it's like to study here. And we try and showcase all of our student successes, who comes on campus, who's going overseas, and what our students are getting involved in. So we encourage you to do exactly that and stay connected with us. So thank you for listening to us, and we hope to see you in Sydney.
Thank you so much, Julie and Kanami. That was wonderful, very informative. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, we do have the opportunity for some question and answers. So please just start sending your questions through the question box. So it does look like we do have a few more questions coming through, so I'll kind of just go through and ask them, and then our friends from UNSW will go through and answer them as best they can.
We'll do our best.
Yes. So the first question kind of relates to internship opportunities. Can you kind of outline what internship opportunities there are available?
There's no internship as part of the degrees that I've mentioned. Obviously, you know, some of the degrees are only 1 year, so it's very difficult to do an internship when you're studying. We have lots of students that seek some work out, because as an international student you have the ability to work either 20 hours a week or 40 hours a fortnight while you're on your student visa, which is very a lucrative opportunity for those who would like to utilise the networks here in the university, or to not maybe do any work experience relevant to the degree, but to gain, you know, some opportunity to turn some extra cash while they're here as well. So that opportunity there is there, and obviously when the university breaks, a student is able to work for as many hours as they like full time throughout the break. The Career and Employment Department does play a big part in helping identify maybe possible internships for our students, and we have a range of fairs, both internship opportunities where our overseas companies come in and look for interns to take back to their home countries, predominantly obviously Asian companies coming in to Australia, but the Career and Employment is there. We have a Jobs Online facility, so the opportunity to seek out that work is there. And because, as I mentioned, the timetable setting is up to you as a student and how you choose to do a particular lecture or a tutorial. You may like to choose to do them in the night time, so it frees up some of the daytime, but remember, you're here to study and to get good marks at the end of the day.
And also those events like Meet the Executive or any of the events that we hold, they're also a good opportunity that, you know, you might just end up talking to somebody in a networking event and find that they actually need an intern, and that might just be another way that you find internship opportunity. So it's not always just the obvious ones, but sometimes it's events, that's how you meet people and kind of starts that way.
I have a tendency to say to the undergrad students that come and say, well, you know, I want to get a job, how do I get it? And I say, well, the degree is the learning, it's what you do with it, and you have to be active, you have to put yourself out there, and everything will come to you if you do the hard yakka to find that particular opportunity.
That's great. The next question is, what are the admission criteria? So I'm not sure if this student is wanting to do postgraduate or undergraduate, but maybe just a brief overview.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question, because we would like to know whether they're applying for an undergrad or postgrad, because they're very different entry requirements. But if this applicant is talking about our postgraduate degrees, the Master of Commerce, Master of International Business, assuming they're from the US or Canada, what we're looking for is a completed bachelor degree in any discipline with a credit average. For the US, that normally works out to be about a 3 out of 4 GPA. For Canadians, if the GPA is out of 4.3, we're usually looking at a 3.3, but again, case-by-case basis, depending on their grades, depending on their university marking, but we assess every single application case-by-case. So that's just kind of an overview of the entry requirement, but we would like to, just look at them on a case-by-case basis.
Great.
A specialist master's degree, obviously you need to have the disciplinary background to do the specialist programs. The programs, the MIB and the MCOM are either, you don't need to have any work experience, but obviously if you do have work experience, we will take that into consideration for the entry as part of the application process.
So we'd encourage that applicant to talk to GlobaLinks or even to us. Just give us a bit of a background of what they've done, and we'll go from there.
Great, and it sounds like the student is a graduate-seeking student.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, great. What is the program cost typically for those graduate programs?
Currently it's $3,640 a course for a business course. It may go up year on year by CPI prices. So currently you pay on a course-by-course basis. So obviously if you enroll in 4 courses for the semester, you only pay for the 4 courses for that semester. So depending on the program duration, but that's what you're looking at per course at the moment.
Great. The next question is, well, and you've kind of already answered this, can I work while I'm in Australia? And the answer is yes. 40 hours every fortnight on your student visa. And it's nice because they don't need a different visa to work, which is great.
Sorry, Kim, and obviously the Australian government has changed some of the rulings in the last 12 months or so, in that if an applicant would like to work in Australia at the end of their degree, they offer, if the applicant will do studies a 2-year postgraduate master's here in Australia, the government will allow them to stay in Australia for 2 years, which will also help them apply for permanent residency at the end. But they must study a 2-year program. And we do have the option in the MCOM, which is, as I mentioned, was a 1.5-year program. We do have an extension option for that program to take it to 2 years if a student or a graduate is looking for that opportunity to stay in Australia at the end.
That's great.
They have to apply to that one from the beginning, correct, Julie, the extension?
No, they don't.
No,
you can come in and just apply for the 1.5 years, and if you get to your final semester and think, oh, I really would like to stay, we're quite happy to have that extension be put on the end.
What a great opportunity. That's awesome. Next question is, can I use financial aid? Let's go ahead and answer that for both U.S. and Canadian.
Ashley, we might leave that to you.
You can. For U.S. financial aid, you can use, you can apply for FAFSA with us, just like you do to a U.S. university for all of the business programs. We do take some private loans, such as Sallie Mae as well, if you're interested in those. For Canada, you're going to need to check province by province, but we're happy to take that aid. And you can also visit our scholarships page to see other opportunities there, such as the Endeavor Award and Fulbright Award and some other government scholarships that are available to North American students as well.
Great. Do you tend to award transfer credit to students?
Yes, as I mentioned in the MIB, if a student comes in with a business undergrad degree, we would look at awarding 24 units of credit or 4 courses as credit, reducing the program down to 1.5 years. For the MCOM currently though, we don't award credit. What we do is we award what we call substitutions or waivers. So if someone comes in with a business undergrad degree, we provide them, we obviously don't get them to do repeat learning, but provide substitutions where they can expand their knowledge. So a lot of students will maybe do a specialisation maybe in finance and do 3 to 4 extra courses in risk management or strategy that will complement the finance studies that they're undertaking.
Great, great. Next question is, what's kind of the average class size in most of your, let's talk about graduate programs and kind of the class structure.
Sure. So with all our undergrad, postgrad, normally it's 3 hours content per week for each course, and that can be made up of a lecture, which is like your, where you have your large hall and you have an academic front, and you might have a couple of 100 students. But with the postgrad, we find that the lectures are probably a bit smaller than that, and then you also have what's called a tutorial, where that's a more interactive and much smaller class where it's up to the students to take a bit of leadership and ownership of the learning in the classroom, and you talk with your fellow students about what you learned that week and discuss the topics. Now with the tutorials, the maximum size is 28 students in a class, so it's quite small. So I'm not sure in the US, Canada, you probably are used to much larger classes, but with us, we do find that a lot of American students might say, oh, the lectures and the tutorials are much smaller, so you do, feel like, I guess you get more attention from the academics that way.
And just to point out another difference, the tutorials are actually taught by the academics in Australia. It's not taught by a grad assistant or a TA, so that would be your same person teaching your lecture is also going to hold your small tutorial as well.
The timetable for the UNSW timetable is up on our website, so to get a sense of maybe how big some of the classes are, it's all available for you to go and have a look at. So you can have a look at our current timetable and see that a particular marketing postgrad course, it's up there, and we've got a maximum of say 45 students, and then currently how many are enrolled, so you can have a sense of how big they are.
And we do have daytime classes and nighttime classes as well. So the nighttime classes are usually taken by students who are working full-time during the day and then coming in the evening. So it might be good just to mix it up, just to get a different feel of how night classes compared to day classes as well.
Expand your network.
That's great. So the next question we have for international students, is there housing assistance through GlobaLinks? And the answer is yes. So what we'll do is we'll actually provide you housing resources, and this is going to be the same for a lot of the processes that you'll go through prior to departing to UNSW. So we'll provide you housing resources. We'll point you in the direction of all the housing options at the University of New South Wales, but it will be your responsibility to ultimately apply to housing and get your housing organized. So Ashley, do you kind of want to talk about the on-campus accommodations and the accommodations that UNSW offers?
Sure. Probably our newest, most popular option for postgrad students are university terraces, which just opened in 2013. So they are still have only been lived in a handful of times. They're self-catered, so they're small studio apartments, which you'd have a little kitchenette and a bathroom. But below them, there's a grocery store, some retail. And these lovely ladies that are there every day can help me out. But a coffee shop, a sandwich shop, a burrito shop, a variety of things. And it wouldn't be your main grocery store, but the essentials at IGA below if you want to pop in and grab them. As well as there's others, so that's the newest, that's University Terraces. We do have the Kensington colleges, but those are going to be, that just opened in January, are more undergraduate focused housing. But then there's also a wide variety, if you visit our housing website, of other postgrad options on campus. We've got 5,000 spaces now on campus. So that also means that there's a nightlife and stuff going on campus. There's lots of restaurants and a couple bars on campus. So you don't have to wander too far in the evening if you just want to meet up with friends. There's quite a nice campus culture building up with all the new housing that's just opened.
Yeah, we're like a mini city, I suppose. We've got obviously a gym, pool, dentist, doctor, physio, retail outlet, post office, everything is here. The new accommodation that Ash just talked about overlooks the racecourse if you're into horse racing. Not close, we're close to the beach. You jump on a bus and it takes about 15 minutes to get into the heart of the CBD. And we have two major retail areas close to the university where there are many, many restaurants and opportunities for you to go and obviously explore very close. And as Ash mentioned, very close to the beach. And I have to say to you, it's winter here today, and we're looking at 20 degrees. So the weather here has been absolutely like most up and down and topsy-turvy, but we've had an incredible lead into our winter where we were looking at 26 and 27 degrees.
Wow.
And now we're in the middle of winter and we're at 20 degrees. So.
Which we need to clarify what that is.
Oh, sorry.
So
yes, Celsius.
That's about 68.
Yes,
That's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So. Yes, which is lovely as I'm headed over soon. So.
That's nice for the middle of winter.
It
Oh, it's
is.
amazing. It's amazing.
I think it was 68 this morning in Colorado by like 11 a.m. Yeah, and it's our summer. Great.
It's too cold for us to swim, but we see a lot of our students swimming.
Mm. Well, I'm sure if you have the wetsuits on, you can still go surfing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Great. Well, I think that's all the questions we have. I don't really see any more coming through from our attendees, but thank you all for taking the time out of your morning, Kanami and Julie, and then your afternoon and evening, Ashley, to host this informational webinar. Like I said, we are recording the webinar, so it will be posted on our website here very shortly, so we'll follow up with everyone. And thank you again. Any last minute thoughts before we say goodbye?
Thanks,
Welcome
Kim.
to Australia.
Yeah.
We hope to see you here.
You have to come onto the campus to know what we're talking about. So
Yep.
if you're here for a holiday, just come by.
Yep.
And we'll have a chat to you.
Great. Great. Well, thank you all again, and have a lovely weekend in Australia, and happy Friday, almost Friday in the U.S. and Canada.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.